Hi there, I'm Dr. Dan, and I want to recount a story that I heard, and this is actually from the horse's mouth. And I don't have permission to put this on YouTube. I haven't asked, but I just want to give you the principle because the names, of course, aren't important. Now, this is a researcher who is trying to figure out neurotransmitters. And so part of his process is he was doing different types of testing to see what might be accurate. And part of his study was looking at urine breakdown components of these neurotransmitters. And so he determined that there's a certain normal, because he looked for people who didn't have headaches, they didn't have depression or anxiety or panic attacks, they had no history of any of this stuff. And he looked at what these kidney or these urine breakdown products were, and they all seemed to be following a very specific range. Now, in the process of testing everybody that he could get his hands on, one of the people he tested was a 16-year-old daughter of a really good friend of his who was an MD. Anyway, the MD said, yeah, go ahead and test her, no problem. So he does a test, and he finds that these neurotransmitter levels, these breakdown products in urine, were very, very low. And he said, I think we should treat her. Now his buddy, the MD, said, well, I don't believe in your research. I think it's all hocus pocus, and I don't want you to have anything to do with her. You just stay away. And so, of course, the guy backs off and goes, well, okay. And so he continues on with his day and with his research. And about 6 months later, he got a call from this MD, and he says, are you still working on that neurotransmitter stuff? And he goes, oh, yeah, I am. He says, well, can you take a look at my daughter? And he says, well, why? And he says, well, because we don't know who she is. And so here's a person who was an honor student, very active socially, active in sports, and one day her personality changed and she lost her motivation. She just wasn't the same person. So this researcher explained to her, her, of course, and also to her dad, say, here's what happens. So we have these primary circuits that we run on, and if those fail, we have secondary backup circuits, because if things go bad, we don't just fall apart that instant. But we have backup circuits that are, all this is, of course, managed by willpower. But when those secondary circuits fail, our willpower won't save us, and we're just going down, and there's nothing that anybody can do at that point. So he explained that, her primary circuits had 6 months ago had failed, and she was just running on willpower and those secondary neurotransmitter circuits. And when those collapsed, she was no longer able to function. So of course we've seen this a whole lot in our practice, and so with proper neurotransmitter support, we can make a difference with these people, and we've seen it over and over. So anyway, I just wanted to share that story with you to know that up to a point your willpower is very important, but when those secondary circuits fail, you can't will yourself out of it. You're going to need some help, and fortunately we do have some tools that can make a difference. So anyway, this is Dr. Dan again, and thanks a lot for listening, and again, I hope that was helpful.